Hey all, welcome to the Coworking Cuppa with Anchor Space. This is a weekly video where I talk about something related to co-working or rural business development or things that generally somebody who follows a rural co-working space would be interested in. So I'm Nicole. I'm actually working from home today because my dog was sick this morning and I felt weird leaving while she was kind of getting sick all over the house. She seems to be feeling better now, but this morning it was kind of a little intense. So we stayed home, and so I'm working from home today. And today's topic, I was trying to think of an interesting topic. And while this isn't very interesting, it's just something that I've learned about over the course of the last, I don't know, 10-ish years doing this kind of work. So we all, theoretically, part of what we need to do our jobs, to go to school, is we need good internet. And what most people have at their house is, something around 40, $50 a month. And it's just super basic internet. So that's what I have here at home right now where I'm broadcasting to you now. So from my home connection, I used to do a podcast and I had the same speed at my old house. And when I would go to upload, it was a 30-minute MP3 file. So I don't know, that doesn't really mean much to me. Probably doesn't mean much to you either, except when you're trying to upload it. And what would happen is at the time, my co-working space was a 7-minute drive from my house. I love that I knew it was a 7-minute drive because I like being on time, but apparently I like to know exactly when that is. So what I would do is sometimes I'd feel kind of lazy and thought, I don't want to leave the house, so I'll upload this from here. 30-minute MP3 file. So for 45 minutes, it would try to upload. And then sometimes the connection would reset and I would have to start over, or it would take 45 minutes to an hour. So it was still quicker for me to get in my car, drive 7 minutes to my office, and upload it at Anchor Space, where it took about 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that's the difference between $200 a month internet and $50 a month internet, at least in Maine. Now, what's interesting is in our space in New York, we get way faster speeds for a way lower price, probably because there's competition and better infrastructure. So a little bit about the internet is, first of all, like I said, speed does matter, especially when you're doing kind of more important stuff. Now, when you look at an internet connection, it gives you a number, some number by some number. So that's the download speed versus the upload speed. So for example, at Anchor Space Bar Harbor, we have a 300 by 20 connection. So that means 300 megabytes per second download, 20 megabytes per second upload. Now, as a normal person, you're probably more likely to be streaming stuff, like watching a Netflix movie or downloading something. And so that's why, that goes faster. Now, there are some connections you can get which are, I don't know, synchronous, fiber connections, which are super fast, but they're also, at least in Maine, prohibitively expensive unless you have fiber that is already in your building or something like that, or already being run past your place of residence or place of business. So when you are trying to do something like upload, say, a 5 gig database, these speeds start mattering, which is why local co-working spaces try to have the best internet that they can afford. Now, some places like Peloton in Portland, Maine, which is a co-working space, they have redundant internet, which means they actually pay 2 internet bills. So they have one internet service provider, and if that doesn't work, they have a secondary one, which I think is great. And honestly, if we had enough members, I think it's kind of brilliant. So what can you do besides becoming a member at a co-working space to speed up your internet? Well, I'm going to give you a few things not to do. The first thing is that if your connection is super important, so let's say that I was, there's like one person watching this right now. Hi, one person watching this right now. But let's say there was like 200 people watching this. What would happen is things would start tanking speed-wise real quick. I'll give you an example. So Bar Harbor has a 4th of July parade, right? And it's one of those, there's literally like 10,000 people in town and they're all coming, they all come to watch the parade. Obviously not in COVID times, but generally. And so what I offered to do one year is the parade route was going right by our office. I said, hey, why don't I just, I'll live stream it, because the local group that usually live streams it wasn't able to do it. And I said, you know what, I'll do it. No big deal. Like, I'm planning on going to see the parade anyway. Why not live stream it? So please appreciate every story begins with me being lazy. So I decided I was going to be lazy and I was just going to film it from my phone. I was going to stick it on a tripod and just stick it out the window and film it. What would happen is 25 people or so would get on the Facebook live stream and then it would crash. So then I tried it again, crash. So what I ended up doing, because I was like, okay, the connection keeps resetting. How do you keep the connection from resetting? Oh, you have Ethernet. So an Ethernet cable looks like this, and one plugs into your internet and one plugs into your device. So what I did was I got my laptop, I duct taped it to the windowsill, and then I actually have, by the way, you can buy like 120 feet of Ethernet or something for about $12. So I actually I didn't feel like going down to my car to get it, but in my car, if you're ever with me and need this, I have 150 feet of Ethernet in my car. You can buy obviously shorter things too, but if you just get a really long one, you know you can run it anywhere. So I grabbed my super long Ethernet and I ran it, duct taped my computer out the window with the webcam, and I had absolutely no problems. Over 50 people joined the connection and it was fine. So if you have a really important connection, I do suggest that you plug in directly into your internet and not go over Wi-Fi. Because what happens is your Wi-Fi connection, it resets, but it's not something you ever notice. So as a normal person, like you're just, if there was a little blip on your internet and you're sending an email, you're not going to really notice that. But if there's like 200 people watching your live stream, they're going to notice. So I recommend investing in obviously Ethernet and then some kind of converter if you want to plug it into your phone or if you want to plug it into your device. You can get like little dongles that will convert, Ethernet to something that you can plug in, to USB, something like that. So, and like I said, just get a really long one. One time I was in a situation where there was one working port for the internet and I was in a ballroom and it was for this business event. And because I had 150 feet of Ethernet, I was able to I could go all the way across the room and still have some left over. And I was able to use the one internet port that was working, we were able to use, which was great. So first off, if you're trying to deal with bad internet, connecting directly is going to speed it up. The other thing that you'll notice is even if you're not connecting, even if it's just for yourself, I switched computers like 2 or 3 years ago. And what I ended up doing was I had to move all my stuff. I keep a lot of my files in Dropbox. So I had to move like Dropbox on this computer to Dropbox on a new computer. And I turned it on over Wi-Fi and it was like, this is going to take 14 days. And I thought, wow, that is way too long. So I got my trusty Ethernet cord and I plugged it in and it was like, great, this will take 18 hours. It was like, all right, I have a lot of stuff, guys. I've been in business 12 years and there's a lot. I have old client files back there. If you ever worked with me and you need something, I probably still have it. Someone emailed me a few days ago, was like, hey, do you have this password from when we worked together 6 or 7 years ago? And I was like, yes, I do. And I was able to find it in like 2 minutes. So sometimes, I keep stuff just in case. Okay, so tip number one, like I said, if you have to use bad internet, cord in directly. And once you have that, you'll use it again. You'll find a few other potential uses. I just have a little bag of tech stuff that I just keep in my car. It's almost like a doctor's bag. Like it looks like a little doctor's bag, even like it has the little handles. And so I've got my Ethernet in there. I've got like a backup phone charger. I've got like kind of everything I could possibly need in a situation. But Ethernet will get you out of a lot. The second thing that you can do is, so if your internet kind of stinks and you're on a call, turn off your video. And I have my clients do this all the time. Sometimes we're conferencing over Zoom so that we can share, so I can share my screen and they can tell me what they want done. But their internet connection doesn't work. So I say, hey, let's just turn off our videos. Also, it's great because then you don't have to worry about what you look like in addition to what you're saying. And that can kind of cut things down in terms of bandwidth and allow people to be able to, not have, it'll stop skipping sometimes. And usually it improves. So if you're on a call with a bunch of people, an online kind of video sharing situation and somebody's connection's slow, just be the hero and suggest everyone turn off their video. Everyone's going to thank you for it anyway, and it's going to speed things up. And the final thing too to check is that there's various things that sync on your computer. And I'll use an example. So like I said, I use Dropbox for my client files. So I have like a part of Dropbox that doesn't sync to my computer. that are past client files. So if we're not actively working together, I take your file as a client and I move it into past clients. So that way I can still get to it if I need to, but it's not something that's actively taking up space on my computer. Now, what happens is if you're just, obviously any computer program wants to get things done as soon as possible. So what it will do is if you're just kind of turning it on and being like, oh yeah, sync this device, it's gonna you're gonna notice stuff starts slowing down. So what you can do in the Dropbox settings is you can change the upload speed, and you can, instead of maximum, you can just bring it down to something that's a little bit more manageable. So even though it'll take longer for your files to sync, it will still happen. And in the meantime, you can actually use your computer. So I'm not sure what other culprits there are, but I'm sure that there are other ones besides Dropbox that, because we live in the cloud now, right? And stuff, when you turn on your computer or something, it needs to communicate with the cloud and get the changes that have happened since it was last connected to go back there. So all this to say is that, internet speed is really important. If you want to improve things, one thing you can do is at your house, you can get business internet. You're going to pay a little bit more, but I'll tell you what, we can say what we want about internet service providers, but I've had a business account probably for the last 6 or 7 years, and I've never waited on the phone more than 5 minutes, unless there's some large scale statewide outage or something. I've never waited longer than a couple of minutes to talk to a real person. So getting business internet, sometimes you get a little bit better service. So if you work from home a lot, consider just upgrading to a business account. Just like business kind of signifies more expensive in some cases, sometimes it also signifies that you're going to get treated as a little bit more important in cases like, hey, my internet's down, or there seems to be a problem. But you can also, like I said, go to a local co-working space and just upload your big files. I had a client who did a lot of event stuff with video, and she just had one day a month where she came in and uploaded her video files. And that was her day. So she just plugged in, and she had kind of an older laptop, right? So it wasn't the fastest processor ever, but she was able to kind of plug it in, kind of upload her videos to the video server, go to lunch, come back. And, I'm trying to think of other, and then we even had a real estate company come in, and they did a lot of virtual tours, and they had all the stuff on this woman's computer. And I said, why don't you just come in and upload your files? And it never occurred to her she didn't want to necessarily hang out at Anchorspace, but she plugged in her computer, she uploaded her files, and she was like, wow, that would have taken me 8 hours from my office, and it took her 20 minutes from Anchorspace. And then she had her computer that wasn't the rest of the day. She had freed up her day to go do other stuff because she had just taken care of her uploads at the higher speed. And like I said, I plugged it. I was like, oh, let's plug in the Ethernet and make it go even faster. So I think it's sped up after that. But anyway, so high-speed internet is really important. Right now, it's great. There's a local, I should say local. There's a main group of co-working spaces that I'm in that's in the process right now of kind of banding together to try to figure out how to get kind of better internet at more affordable prices so we can kind of pass that on to our customers. But, if your town is looking to set up its own kind of internet service or run its own lines, I suggest that you kind of learn what's available in your community and see if you can be a part of it, because internet infrastructure, to me, it's as important as having a good road, because as we try to compete in a global marketplace, and we have stats, we know that the average person won't wait more than 3 seconds for a website to load. 80% of people are going to click off if your website takes longer than 3 seconds to load. Besides making your website obviously work better, it also depends on the person's internet speed, right? So we want everyone to have access to high-speed internet, not just so we can do our jobs, but also so our customers can access things more easily. So anyway, so internet speed, like I said, it's one of those things where if you're just somebody who streams movies or somebody who answers email, it's not something you're necessarily going to notice or want something better a majority of the time. But if you are the kind of person who's going to be creating content, if you're the kind of person that's going to be doing kind of heavy work like moving or databases and stuff like that, or if you just want to be able to have your computer or other thing work more efficiently, having faster internet is going to allow you to get more things done more efficiently. So consider your local co-working space. Like I said, even if you don't want to hang out at a co-working space, even if you just are like, you know what, like I'm going to organize my life so that like I have these big files, or I have this syncing I need to do, or I have this video render, I want to just upload all these videos to YouTube, or put all these files into my website, consider organizing like one day a week or one day a month or something like that to be able to do that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the Ethernet cable, because when you need it, you're really glad you have it. And it's literally like I said, I think it's $12 or $15 for 150 feet. And then, if you get a dongle for something for your computer, you're going to probably pay like 20-ish bucks for that. So for $25, you're going to be like ready to use the internet wherever you're at. And, in the meantime, if you do need high-speed internet, just please, and you're near an anchor space, let us know. We have different kind of service levels going on at different locations. So, we want to be able to serve people, but we also want to make sure we can keep it safe. And there's only, a certain amount of bandwidth that we have to do that. So we want to be there for you if you need us. And we also want to be compliant with COVID regulations and all that. So thanks so much for watching, and consider, I guess, the speed of your internet and how you can make it work better for you, because if your internet's slowing you down, it's slowing your work down too. And, if there's a way to make it better, why not consider it? All right, have a great week, guys. I'll see you next week. If you have a topic or something of interest that you want me to talk about, either related to co-working, small business development, weird tech stuff, like I said, I'm not like a tech expert, but I am I guess, bootstrapping integrator, we can call me. So I've thought through the less technical, least expensive ways to do things. And if I don't know, I have enough like actual technology type consultants that I could have them maybe on as guests. So if you're interested in like POS systems or something like that, creating networks, I don't know, voice over internet, so I'm just saying, if you have tech topics, small business topics, running a rural business topics, co-working topics, just give us an email. I'm always looking for ideas. And I'm trying to do one of these once a week to sort of connect with you and to kind of see what you want to know about. So thanks again for watching. Like I said, feel free to email if you've got ideas. And have a great rest of your day. I hope it's sunny where you are. It's sunny where I am. Might go for a walk. All right, take care.